with the ladder. We're doing things, I guess. Zach's not dead yet. Thank Gorsh. Anyway. Maybe now, this time.
You think this is...
I don't know what to think, Zach.
In the next second, I'm up to my feet, pacing the span in this small room without thinking about it. My body just needs to be busy, moving about, burning out rather than burning my own brain out. Sometimes I do both, but moving helps. Keeps your brain running. Healthy body, healthy mind. Or was it the other way around? Frick, it's the first minute, I can't swear. I'll say it anyway. Fuck! I can't even think coherently right now. I just know there's something. There must be. There has to be.
I should have looked into this when she was still here. Maybe none of this would have happened if I did.
We've done this scene already, right? I vaguely remember this, I think. Obviously it's from a different perspective, but like, I don't care, man. The words slip out of my mouth before I can censor them. The guilt and sorrow, feeling I won't let others catch a glimpse under normal circumstances, are laid bare in one moment of weakness. Zach will say otherwise. He's always been the optimist, the one who sees the best in people. But such sentiments, or any words of comfort, won't change the truth. That a single instance of neglect and indifference has cost me someone really dear to me. Again. We've all been given our warning that day in that desperate pleading tone of hers, and I'm the first one who brushed it off. Still, like the usual, Zach tries a benefit of the doubt I'm not worthy of.
Rebecca and I are still here. And don't count Isabella out yet. No matter what the doctor said, I want to believe she'll pull through. We'll manage, one way or another.
Don't make it sound so easy. We have no idea what we're dealing with here.
This is a whole fucking mess, and we're in it blind. Don't say blind in front of Zach, am I right? The only way to make it worse is if we were started running around like a bunch of headless chickens. But I have concrete plan now, I think. Aside from those writings, there's another thing linking most, if not all, those victims. The letter. I have to look deeper into, of course. However, this little detail has been bothering me since one of the investigation officers brought it up. Even the news has picked up on it. Most of the victims are employees of the same company before their untimely deaths. Briarty Realty Corporation, I said Briarty. Briar Realty Corporation. However, my suspicions are mine for the moment. The details are something Zach doesn't need to know until I've had something to show. It's enough that he's aware that I have an idea in mind. For his part, Z-Man doesn't push it. Nothing but a heavy silence leads my departure hours later. Seriously, Zach would probably make a more responsible officer than me. If he only had the heart to join the force. No, please don't. We could certainly use more kind people like him. But as good as the thought is, I push all of it to the back of my mind as I head for the car. Tonight, I can't stay distracted. Excuse me. The drive to BRC is a quiet affair. More so, the hour-long wait for nightfall. Even with the radio blasting lively tunes, the place is rife with beep beep. I haven't done a beep beep in so long. Aw, that fills my heart with joy. The place is rife with tense energy, only a matter of minutes now. But the ticking seconds don't take the edge away. And for the 5th time, I reach out and fiddle with the radio, adjusting and turning the knobs with no real purpose. It's a nervous quirk I've developed and never bothered to correct during stakeouts, something to keep my mind occupied during long nights. What I would give to hear Zach's, Rebecca's, or Isabella's voice right now. Scope BRC out, see if the real estate company has any more information that may be of help. That's the plan. Cooper and Isabella both worked on it before.
I take it the investigation isn't going well.
When does it ever? But that's not the problem. No, it's...
What is this?
Is this about that hit and run from yesterday's morning news? I saw it.
Beep beep.
I just didn't know if it was the same girl you're always groaning on about. But this just proves it, doesn't it? You don't have a drink.
She might never wake up, G.
Oh, it's the bartender. Oh, I was like, why is the cop talking to me? Oh, okay, that's better. I was so confused.
And we can't find the son of a bitch that thought it was alright just to leave her there in the road.
Can't you just run plates nowadays? I mean, I just got a ticket for a busted taillight the other day, and
Why is Ash's voice all distorted? Like, you know, it's a flashback, 'cause I think it's a flashback, but not G's.
they were on that quicker than you can say Bob's your uncle.
The footage is a mess for some reason, and the tech guys are trying to clean it up, which just skews me off, you know. Those things are HD traffic and security cams. They haven't failed before.
And you're thinking there's something foul afoot, is that it?
Beep, beep. Sure, I could always check the station for full reports. That's the easy, semi-illegal way. But I don't want to bump into Chief right now. The guys at the precinct will definitely throw me out on his orders as soon as they see me. Go there! Zach's gonna die! Not that my plan right now is any better. I'm just breaking into a different place, more or less. Honestly, it's a toss-up between breaking into this office or into the Wright's mansion. Damn it. As it stands, I'll have an easier time getting in here first. After all, why would someone want to break into a realty company? I've been here many times before anyway, for a few casual visits when I wanted to bug Scaredy Cat. Over the years, I have more or less grown familiar with their security setup and how badly staffed they are. Plus, it's an old building. If the bankruptcy rumors are true, it just means their access protocols might also be outdated. It gives me enough confidence. Excuse me, I'm trying to. No, fine. Beep, beep. It gives me enough confidence as I exit my car and march towards the building. There are no side entrances, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to do this the hard way. The hard way! All things considered, though, it feels like this might go smoothly.
And where do you think you're going, young man?
Fuck.
Hey there, sir. A nice night we're having, eh?
Hello yourself. It's late. Most offices in this building have already closed up shop for the weekend.
The bloke's... Can you say bloke? You're not British. The bloke seems friendly enough, though one can't really tell from his voice alone. He might be the wary sort, for all I know. Keeping an unconcerned face and aloof air won't hurt until I figured out how to wiggle myself out of the situation.
Just come back on Monday if you have important business.
He's probably been working here for a few months already. Maybe around 4 or 6 months max. Otherwise, he wouldn't have recognized me. He would have recognized me at first glance. I haven't shown my face here since I've assigned to the firm case a year ago. In the first place, none of their security officers ever lasted a year in service. The longest was around 7.5. I give this guy around that before he gets fired and finds a better paying job. For the moment, his too friendly attitude is almost a gift.
Really? Damn. Boss man won't be too happy to hear that.
Boss man?
Sorry, it's my boss, Mr. John. He asked me to get a few things from his table. Important work stuff, you know.
John? From Briar Realty?
The one and only. But, this sucks. I didn't realize the office closes early on weekends. Shouldn't have stayed for another movie. Damn. I'm gonna get an earful later. New hire, you see?
Good thing Isabella's been quite open with stories from her office, no matter how mundane they all are. Granted, she rarely talks about her boss, but what I've gleaned from it enough is to fabricate a decent, believable story.
You new hires are always so dumb and clueless, I swear.
Thanks, buddy!
You guys come and go a lot these days, but I suppose that's because they pay you a lot less in commission than the older agents, huh?
You can say that again. But it's nothing hard work can't fix.
Sure, you can do that, if this branch stays afloat.
What do you mean?
You know, stuff in the news.
You mean what happened with Rose Cooper?
Sorry, I'm drinking water. Patience is the key. I can't rush this one or he'll get suspicious, or I might make a mistake. Besides, if I'm going to be stuck here with him for a while, I might as well try to gather as much intel as I can. He may just be a guard, someone with no real authority, but most of the time, people like him are the ones who know more than they let on.
Yeah, but even before that, we've got a couple of good blokes we never saw again. There was this one kid, too, Santillan? Sanchez?
Santos, Isabella.
Really? Those guys could have just resigned for all you know.
Dunno, I only catch catch tidbits of stuff from over here. Oh, seriously, I heard the branch is getting flushed soon, but that's no excuse for anarchy. You're the third newbie he's sent running errands this week. I can't keep letting you all in after office hours. I'll get in trouble too, you know?
Come on, just a few minutes.
There's a long pause from his end, as if he's contemplating his options. A little pushes all in need before he gives in.
You know how fickle the boss's moods can be.
Well, yeah, but...
Please, I really need to get those files to him tonight.
Alright, go ahead. Swear you young ones have no respect for authority. Use the side entrance. Already locked up the main door. I'm not gonna open that even if you give me puppy eyes.
Thanks, I owe you one.
Using the side door presents a different problem, however. It needs an access card, one I don't have. I could always pry it open and use a gecko. What? A gecko? What?
There's just this one problem.
What is it again?
I forgot my access card.
I make a show of face. How does this work? Is this a thing that can actually happen? I probably would fall for it, not gonna lie. I make a show of facing the security cameras, pulling out my empty pockets, and presenting him with the sorriest look I can muster.
Bloody hell, kids these days.
Is there any way for you to...
Boy, you're lucky I'm nice.
He is.
I'll go and unlock the side entrance for you then. You can use my card, it's on the front desk. You'll need to beep in when you report for proper
Beep, beep.
work on Monday, though. And don't forget to turn off the lights before you leave, Kane?
He cuts off the connection before I can thank him. Soon the latch clicks and the side door swings open. The guard, a stout man wearing uniform still too loose for him, waves me over from the gap before he disappears behind his station again. Just my luck. Here thought I'd have to use some unconventional methods. Sure, I might be getting the guy in trouble. Kind of feel sorry for that, but it's not like he'll be keeping the job for long, if he's always letting people in like that. If BRC doesn't have long either, he'll be job hunting sooner or later anyway. He's lucky I'm not here to hurt anyone. What? Are you saying you kill him? If I were someone with ill intentions, he might not be smiling at the end of the day. Of course, as I step into the building and grab his access card, I try to push all those concerns as far down as I can. I need to focus. Work is work. Although, if this is a sign of something to come, then maybe things are indeed looking up. Oh, don't do this. The door's gonna open and she's gonna be there. Ugh. It's a quiet ride up to the 7th floor, where the BRC Luxborn's main office is. Seb, according to his access card, Seb, has been kind enough to switch the elevator's power on, just as I'm about to head for the fire exit stairs. Which is a welcome relief. I'm an active guy, but stairs, I don't want to tire out too quickly in case things get ugly. There probably won't be any trouble with the building this quiet, but you never know. I swear, the whole place definitely feels eerie at this time of night. But until I've confirmed anything, those are still just stories. Worse things can happen. No need to scare myself. Staying calm means fewer mistakes.
Though I sure am fucking gutsy, especially with what I'm doing.
I'm breaking a lot of laws here. Best thing that can come out of this is that Isabella's right all along. Worst case scenario, I find evidence that would implicate BRC or Luke Wright in a crime. And my meddling, if I'm not careful enough, makes it admissible in court. Though, I'll be honest, I strongly prefer losing my job or facing Wright over some spirit or ghost or whatever it is. I could always work around the problems with the former, fighting off a phantom. How does one even do that? Do guns even work with them?
Yeah, not going to happen.
It's gonna pop up, dude. It's gonna be right there. But tonight I'm here to fix things. If I do it without leaving a trail, all the better. Good thing that's what I'm good at. Okay. The immediate area beyond the elevator door sees the agent station. There's a lot more to the floor, of course, but first order of business as soon as I'm in, locate the records room, then the security. Passing this sea of cubicles, I can't help but take in everything in their office, a force of habit for the most part. As far as I know, BRC Luxborn used to own this whole building. Officers in several floors once upon a time, when real estate is still a lucrative business for the company in the side of the country. Then competition showed up, and suddenly everything's not so good anymore. It only got worse as the years went by, or so according to the rumors. Now the branch is just this floor, despite what the huge sign of the building's facade says, and frankly, it's not too hard to believe when one looks at the state of this room right now. The number of desks have been cleared out. Personal mementos are scarce, as if the employees have gone on an exodus. That'll be downsizing. Probably. Searching for what I need would be a whole lot easier if Isabella were here. Maybe she'll even tell me more about the sudden layoffs. She has always been...
Focus, Frey. There's no point in whining or dwelling any longer on it. That's why I'm here in the first place.
Without her, I'll just have to do this the old-fashioned way. I'm a detective, aren't I?
Besides, the longer I take here, the riskier the situation becomes.
Brushing it all off, I immediately get to work. On the far wall of the main workspace, plaques label most of the doors for easy identification. The staff lounge and the branch manager's office are places I'm familiar with, and they're easily the most accessible of the private rooms. To the far right, the manager's office is the meeting room, and human resources to its far left. The records followed by security further back. Easy as pie. What will be tricky is getting inside both rooms. The security room first. The fact that no one has walked out when I entered means the room is either empty or their guards sound asleep. I'm banking on the former. If they are cutting corners and firing agents, I have no doubt that they fired the guy stationed here, if they have anyone watching the monitors in the first place. It's a rather common thing for establishments. Just leave security recording indefinitely and only check the footage if something actually happens. Just to check, I press my ear to the door, listening for any sign of anyone occupying the room. After a long minute of nothing, I move back towards the records door and give the knob a few rattles. Time to get to work.
Standard lock and key. Should be easy enough to pick.
Did they teach you how to do that in cop school? We have lockpick sets, but those are only used if necessary, and with a search warrant, even then, it's a skill set rarely needed. Is that a thing? Do cops know how to lockpick? I thought they just, shoot the doorknobs and then, kick a door in. Subtlety isn't a cop's priority if they have authority to search the premises. Bolt cutters and brute force are the favored methods. If those fail, we call a locksmith. Me, I prefer the good old hairpin trick when those options aren't available. Besides, they're easy to hide and store for emergencies. Running my hand through my hair, I pull out a pair of bobby pins. You don't need to show me. I know what a bobby pin looks like. You don't need to show me. 2 of these, and I can just about open any standard lock. One makes a lever, and the other makes a handle. I won't call it a complex skill, but it certainly takes time and a lot of practice to successfully pick a lock. Good thing I've practiced with them for a bit in my college years. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of yeah, okay, let's get on with it. I've learned more when they're accessible and the standard issue for a law enforcement officer. A wiggle here, a click there, and I managed to seize all the pins and the locking mechanism soon enough. With a slight turn of the knob, the record room's ripe for the picking.
Easier said than done. Now, where should I start looking?
The property files are probably the best bet, as well as the people who worked on it, including Isabella and Rose Cooper. The signed forms from one house can also help me track the clients. But it's all a little too far-fetched to think those people have been affected. Oh my god. My brain's getting tired, I need a break, I can't read anymore. It would have been news now. Isabella's already found the letter by the time the open house has started. Besides, out of all the visitors, it's only with the Wrights couple, who Isabella and Cooper have had a notable interaction with, one that led to the sale of the mansion. So for the next half an hour, I work in complete silence, digging into every file compiled in the Ermengarde Mansion's folder. The client files I leave alone. Like the signed forms, better narrow this down early as possible. My best bet are still the people who have worked closely with Cooper, Isabella, and BRC itself. After all, that's where the connection is. Not an easy task considering how thick the whole thing is. Just as the correspondence and context for the restoration alone makes up a stack of papers that's an inch thick, third-party service providers hired for the mansory, radiators, woodworking, plasterwork, slate roofing, and a whole bunch of other things are well documented. Hell, every single contractor who worked on this project were listed individually, even if they were just there to do plumbing. It's a high-profile and high-cost estate, alright? But with that scope comes the loopholes. Means plenty of room to hide something in, if there's something fishy going on. All I have to do is find a pattern. And it doesn't take long. Upon closer glance, despite the original owners shouldering the renovation costs, it'll be surprising if they've managed to break even on the Ermengarde mansion. Well, with the additional expenses for the open house, the commissions for their agents, and other overhead fees. At one point, the negotiations to get it listed under BRC's name almost broke down too. Some disagreement about the listing price. The owners wanted to be rid of it as quickly as possible, while keeping the worth at a profitable level. BRC was listing at a higher amount, double what the appraiser suggested. This, plus the rumor that their branch is closing. BRC Luxburn really is in the red, and the sale of the mansion could have easily been a desperate move to keep the branch afloat.
No wonder the final sale happened as fast as it did. Sheesh, this place is just unlucky. Going bankrupt while the rest of this crap is happening?
But this isn't what I'm looking for. What I need is the who. The people aside from Isabella and Cooper involved in this business with the mansion, and how they are now. I can't do much outside of contractors. They won't be on file. The employee list, on the other hand. Because if Isabella has to be believed, if what she's seen and what happened to Rose Cooper is because of that letter, I need to know everyone who has possibly read it aside from the three of us. If they've been noticing strange things too, for all I know, they might have just been terrible coincidence. Although the thought of it starts to diminish as I dig into BRC's company files. Turns out there were 2 more employees who handled the mansion directly, aside from Cooper and Isabella. Christian Sy, the realty specialist, and Mark Julius Jean-Marie, the estate appraiser.
This C guy, he was in custody just the other day.
Folks at the precinct said they went to the house after the noise complaint. They found him acting all crazy and had to take him in when he started getting violent. Kept screaming about a woman. It was driving the guards mad, but he didn't last long. A few hours in, he started bashing his own head against a wall, and well, it was messy to say the least. Guy's in the hospital right now, and I heard they're looking into putting him into a psychiatric ward as soon as he recovers. Within the company, he's been marked as AWOL. Jean-Marie, on the other hand. His employee file notes his date of leaving, and even when his final payment has been given. Along with that, there's a letter to his family about the appraiser being found dead in the office. Communications is hush-hush, and there's mention of compensation if they don't talk about it in the media. Inspector Abigail has often scolded me for not reading the reports on a regular basis, but I try to keep up to date as much as I can. When I do, I make sure I'm aware of the gist of what's going on in my city. This never reached the police's ears or the health and safety executive.
Business going under and someone dies while working here? Of course they want to keep that quiet. It's bad publicity. This whole thing is just getting freakier by the minute.
I continue flipping through the documents for a while more. It's 1/4 of an hour later when I put down the papers with a sigh and begin placing the folders where they belong. And from there, we'll stop for now. We'll continue next time. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.